Okay, welcome to session 2 of Write With Me, and I'm gonna pick up today where we left off. I'll share my screen. Let me jump over here, and I'll share it. And then if I look, I'll show you what I did yesterday and how much it cost. The recent activities right there. Remember yesterday what we did was we did the match my styles, and so it was the largest match my style was 213 credit. The small one we did, I think that was probably the science fiction one, was 112. And then where I rewrote the characters, that was 392 credits. Now, to generate the outlines is stuff I've done today. So that is more expensive because, of course, the outlines have more stuff in them. They have more input to them, and then they have more output from them. So that gives you a little bit of idea. So the style and the characters must use a fairly inexpensive model because it didn't really totally eat it up. So I made a separate document for my characters just so I'd have them. And this was before I fixed them. And then when I came down to fix them, I'll show you what happened. Make my screen a little bit bigger, I think, because I want you guys to be able to see it. Okay, we have our characters. I changed some of the names. I didn't change all of the names. I got rid of Thompson here. And I asked it to add location information, myth and lore information. So look what it did. Town. Willow Creek is a small town that prides itself on its natural beauty. What I think I decided was if you're in the AI Writers Connection, and you should be if you're not, we've set up a couple of spots where we can do shared worlds. And we were talking about actually doing Willow Creek as a shared world. So I think this series I might leave it in Willow Creek. But especially since I'm writing it on video, people know I used AI for it. So you can tell that much so far. But the myth and the lore, I don't care about the flower that blooms once every century. Whoever finds it will be granted eternal happiness. Eh, it does tie into Jessica's flower area. So I might leave it there. And then we come to the outline. And as you probably know, we have several different models that we can use for the outline. The novel outline is pretty good for overall. The hero's journey is, of course, the 12 steps. Hollywood Beats that's what's used in a lot of screenplays. It's Blake Snyder's Save the Cat. The story circle has the beginning, middle, and end narrative structure. And then the romance outline works for romances. I'm not sure how well it would work for this because it's a marriage at convenience. So it doesn't start out like a typical romance. I'll probably go with novel outline. But I have my own way that I set up for outlines. And actually, I borrowed it from Marigold and changed it around a bit. So sometimes I did my outlining in ChatGPT. And if I find the one where actually we did this in Claude, didn't we? Wasn't that where we worked everything out? Yeah, I think we did. We're gonna
Yes.
hop back over to Claude because I was playing in it earlier today too. But my characters are not cleaned up in Claude. But I can, because Claude has a large context window, I can have a lot of context. This has all been in one chat where we started with, he gave us the Brighton sisters, if you remember from yesterday. And so we have the first one. If I didn't have that in there, Ark, I'd start a new chat and I could pull in my premise and my synopsis and my character list and then ask it to do the outline. But here, come down to what I did. I made it list out characters and it did that for me. And then I took this as one of Marigold's prompts and I said, give me an expanded character list. And it did. And then I used this was my standard outline, which is I wanted to outline the first book. I want 14 beats per chapter. I want an opening hook and a cliffhanger. I want to switch point of view from the hero to the heroine, or actually start with the heroine usually. Myers Briggs' personality to them, which we already had. We had the character stuff already, and including the day, time, and location. And a lot of times, if you include that, it will get rid of the sun telling the time, but a lot of times it won't. So that's one attempt to get rid of the sun references. Okay, it can apply drivers, guardrails, and focus points as it wants. And I will put this in the chat so you'll have it. And here we have a time frame, hours and days, weeks, and refer to the earlier information and use it in the format that Sudowrite wants it. So when I did that, it started out and it did pretty well. And then but it had no hook, no cliffhanger. So I ran it again, reminding it, because you always have to remind it, have to nag it. And so it does give me the cliffhanger. And then it does chapter 2. And then it stopped. So I would have to keep saying continue. And that's the very same thing that happens with Sudowrite. I bought back over to Sudowrite. Okay, we'll just use novel outline. That will be fine. And one of the things that I learned, how much room do I have? Oh, I got lots of, no, I don't have lots of room there. Okay, so I'm going to take the myth and lore stuff off. And I will, at the bottom of the character list, find it. I will put that in. Yeah, okay, it truncated it. Let's do it differently. Let's go back and see how much room we have. We have more room in the synopsis, so I'll put it I'll put it in the synopsis. Rather than doing your characters and then doing character rewrite or your outline and then doing outline rewrite, you can put the instructions for the outline in one of the other boxes that's going to be used for that generation. So if I look at the outline generation, it's going to look at the genre, synopsis, and characters. So I can put the instructions in either one of those 3 boxes. And I have more room in synopsis, so I'm going to try that. And we will put that up again. Yeah. Okay, so I got it all in here now. And we're asking it to use this format.
Hey, Lynn, you might want to change the 1, 2, 3 under the character to ABC.
Oops. Wait a minute.
Go down where it says use the format below, right there.
Yep, absolutely, because that will cause us problems. Because it will think that is a beat. When we get down to the beatbox part. And if this doesn't work, it's your fault. Miracle.
Okay.
Okay. So we've generated the characters, and I fixed the really common names. I left Noah, and I thought there was one more I had changed, but and Anna, I left Anna because it's an unusual name for AI. So if I'm going to, I already said I want to use a novel outline. And so if I'm going to generate the outline, we will see what happens. And it will think about it. Oh, and while I think about it, if you're watching the reruns, speed them up so you're not watching in real time. I like to use like time and a half because a lot of the things with this teaching AI is either waiting for somebody to type or waiting for it to generate. So you can actually go through it faster. Okay, so here we have chapter one, and we have Jessica, Anna, and Evelyn, and it's in Creek at the flower shop. Um, so we're introducing her as a hardworking owner of the flower shop. She's overwhelmed. She has a surprise visit from her sister Anna, announces her engagement to David, who is Jessica's high school boyfriend. And then I'm going to come down here pretty fast. I'm going to show you what happened. Oh, it's still going. I'm surprised. Oh, it wasn't doing this earlier. It was stopping before it got to chapter 4.
Were you inside of the same novel outline?
No, I had a different one.
Pardon. Okay. I noticed that I think it's the shorter one. That one I don't think gives you very many at once.
Hmm.
And on your little time, the day and time, if it's like Saturday, 10 a.m., you can put weather conditions in there if they're outside, or you can give it a little bit of information in brackets on what you want it to show.
Thank
That
you.
helps for me.
Oh, okay. We're resetting. It always resets an outline.
Yeah, I've noticed that, right?
Uh-huh. We've told them. Okay. Come down here.
It'll come
Oh,
back up.
oh yeah. It just pauses a little bit. Okay. So looks like it stopped in chapter 6. I don't know if it hadn't reset, if it would keep going or not. But what we can do is come down here into the rewrite box and place start with chapter 6 using the same format. And because we have our history button up here, roll it up to there, it's the one we got is saved. We can just keep going with the next chapters. I don't want to restore it yet because I want to let it go again. And we'll say rewrite. And see, it came back up here and it erased what we had and started with chapter 6.
Mhm.
Okay, looks like it's going to stop there. I don't really want to keep that. I'll have that one in history if I want it. I'll see how it does again. And now you see why the outlines cost you so many credits. Looks like it's about the same as it was before. That's fine.
Liz asked if it was an error that it actually stopped working. I know sometimes I get a little glitch and then I just have to prompt it to go on. Lynn,
Mhm.
what is your experience?
Um, I think that reset glitch stopped it because before, when it stopped it, it would stop it at the end of a chapter. That was what I was getting this morning. It would go through a chapter and then it would stop.
And then you have another question.
Mhm.
Somebody asked about romance and wondering if you were doing romance here or something else.
This is romance. This is a marriage of convenience romance that we started yesterday in the first session.
And you have one more that states, please share your prompt that you used in the synopsis to create the outline when you get a chance.
Sure. While it's still going, I can do that. Or did it stop? It's still going. All I did is at the end of the synopsis, I said instructions for the outline. And then it's too long. Okay. So I will have to chop it up and I can do that. I will do that in just a minute. See what we got. Okay. Now here it stopped in the middle of 10. I think it's stopping.
How many chapters did you ask for?
I don't remember. I was going to say
Okay.
30, but I don't think it was. Let me pop up to genre. Yeah, I asked for 30
30.
chapters. Yeah. And see, here's our genre. We're doing a contemporary romance, marriage and convenience, 30 chapters, in close third person point of view with an accessible vocabulary, fast paced mix of dialogue, action, description. Realistic dialogue focuses on personal growth, love, and relationships in a contemporary setting with occasional historical and cultural exploration. And that was what the style gave us when we fed it that information yesterday. Yeah, Marie, I don't know what you missed yesterday. We watched the video. We played with some premises, got some we liked, and then we started filling out the boxes. Let's see, there's one other one. Yeah. No, this is a romance. Did you think it wasn't, Marie? Yes? No?
No, the only reason why I brought it up is because Tomas had asked, if it was a thriller, and it just made me second guess myself and be like, "Wait a minute, did I, like did I space out? Did I dissociate yesterday or something?" So I
No, I think he must have celebrated too hard last night or some botany thriller. No.
but no, that's the only reason why it got brought up.
Yeah. I will say that storyline for you, Tomas. You can write that one. You're welcome to it. And what I could do is I could do this by acts and say, do the scenes for act one, do the scenes. And so now I'm going to say rewrite and it will add to that. Okay, am I getting 5 beats on all of them now? We got Mr. Thompson back. They must, okay, it forgot what we had asked it to do in the first place. Let's see where that went off the rails. See where it went off the rails.
Yeah, I've gotten to where if I'm prompting inside a Sudowrite that I am continuously telling it that just like you were doing with the chapter 13, beat
Mhm.
number XYZ, and then in parentheses, I say following the same format, and then I'll say
Mhm.
X number of beats per chapter.
Yeah.
Is I have to remind
Remember
it.
what we are doing.
Exactly.
Okay. So
Now
what I
Claude will
think.
forget.
Oh, yeah. Let's survey. Where did I not take out Thompson and the characters? Because it was Henry that was Thompson, and I changed him to Miller. Okay, so it threw Thompson back in again for some reason.
Was he inside of your synopsis or in a brain dump?
Nope.
That's what I was going to say. Make
I
make a search on
He might have been in
make a
the
search.
synopsis. I don't think he was, though. Yeah.
Yeah, like Manon said, you could do a control find and do a search to see which
See
screen
where
it
that
was in.
comes in. Yeah, let's see.
Unless he's a brand new character that he
I think
LLM
he's
brought
one that
in.
threw in. Yeah. I'm going to copy this here. And I'm going to come down to the rewrite. And I'm going to make it start on 10 again. And instead of saying using the same format, I'm going to throw that in and see if it remembers what we're doing. Okay, remember the opening hook. That's a step in the right direction. You remember the cliffhanger. 9, better than 5.
Hey, Lynn, did you put that inside of the chat or do you want to put it maybe in the Discord and I'll break it up for you if it doesn't
Okay,
fit?
because it's too long to go in the chat.
Okay.
I will switch it over to you in the Discord. Where are you? Here you are. There you go. Oh, it's too long for that too.
That's okay. Just upload the file and then
Yeah,
it'll
here we
send
go.
it.
Yeah.
Just delete the text that's in there and it'll leave the file in
Okay.
there.
Oops. I hit the mouse in the wrong place. If I do that, can I do an A and get rid of it? Yeah.
Yeah.
There we go.
And then just hit it and it'll come
Yeah,
through.
you'll
Okay.
get it.
I'll
Then I'll
break it
come
up for
back
you.
to and see what the chapters are doing. They're doing better. Okay, and so what I can do, I can start with 15. And I can leave all this in, which is going to cost me more credits for input. But this is going to be more of a sure thing than having it be use the same format because we saw how quick it forgot. So we will hit rewrite again. Run it to see what it's doing. And I didn't check with the synopsis the way I should have. I cleaned up the characters, but I didn't work with the synopsis, so it may or may not be off. And we'll have to see how that goes. Now, the Discord, Sudowrite has a Discord that you really need to be in because that's where we do a lot of the discussions. And also, Marigold started a AI Writers Connection Discord, and that one is very useful as well. So I highly recommend those two Discords. We got Mr. Thompson again. Let's see, how far did we get that time? 2:17. Okay. Marigold put the prompt in the, what else do we have in there? You'll find that's a long prompt. And so it will up your input, but it really helps to get the beats the way you want them. So I have a choice here when I go to generate is I can use either the beats that it generated, or I can let it generate its own beats and I can maybe kit bash them. But usually this prompt gives me some very good beats. What I'm going to do, because we got started with 15, 16, 17. Rather than continue on with the chapters, let's look at how we can use those. And because we have our history, I want to go back and I want to grab, I think the other one was about, okay, we started with 17. Okay. So this one should be the first one. So we have Act 1, we have Chapter 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So we can start with that and we can look at starting to generate text. So I'm going to restore the first part of my outline. And I'm not worried about it. It saves it for me. Sudowrite is very good about not losing any of your words. If you think you have some words that are lost, contact the team and they can probably get them back. However, now they have given us the ability to delete an entire project. And it asks you if you really want to delete it. If you say, yes, you really want to delete it, it will be gone. And you won't be able to get it back. So here we have the introduction. And so what I can do is I can use all of this as a header in the beatbox. And I can look at the number 2 is, I don't think there's enough action there to generate the actual words that it needs for a beat, because it's just describing how she's feeling. What I think I'll do with that one,
She could
yes,
be going over invoices.
she could, but I think I'll let the AI figure that out for me, and I will simply make that a part of the first beat. And then we have her sister come in, announce, okay, I guess Evelyn Clark works at the flower shop. So there's some conversation in there. Okay, she call from Noah. So that's good. We're bringing him into the first chapter, and that's one of the things that quite often it doesn't do. It does the first chapter and it's the ordinary world of one of the characters, and then the next chapter is the ordinary world of the other character. Then It might get them together in chapter 3, or it might get them together in chapter 4. We're going to have to take a look and see for our romance expectations. They expect the couple to get together fairly soon. So, yes, these are beats, and I can just put them in the beat box, and I'll show you what I'm going to do with that. I'm going to copy these. And I'm going to run down to chapter 1. I'm going to create the chapter. And I am going to paste all that into the beat box rather than generate it. And because I like to put instructions in brackets, that's what I'm going to do here. Okay. But I'm going to put another line or two in. Third person limited point of view from Jessica's perspective. It should remember that, but just in case it didn't, I'm going to remind it. I'm also going to say avoid telling. Show using character actions. And that's a pretty standard header for me. I usually put that in just as a reminder. Yeah, I see that Mira put in the box you can specify you want to meet cute. In this case, it's a marriage at convenience, so I don't think I want the meet cute, but we can see. Okay, rather than generate the beats, I am going to use the beats as it was generated for the outline. You understand that? Have any questions on that? Is that just confusing you? Yes, no? Okay, it thinks this says about 2,600 words, and they think it will use 20,900 credits. However, that is on our default balanced prose. Yeah, I do tend to like best prose. Best prose probably won't give me anywhere near 2,600 words, but we'll see. But that the credit usage went down to 16,200. And it all depends on how best prose is feeling today.
Can you hit the check beats?
I sure can.
I still do this every time I generate. Because the one time I don't, I'm probably going to have crazy beats.
Okay, yeah, we've got some more questions about that. I used a detailed outline prompt that is in the chat, and I'll also put it up with the video that will generate the beats for me. And that saves letting the chat GPT do the beats because sometimes their beats are a little off. I could do it either way. I could give it create an outline that lets me do a chapter summary, and then it would generate the beats. This is just one way I do it, and I might, for some of the other chapters, we might do it the other way and see if that's going to make any difference. But we'll see what happens with it. And then that way I can just cut and paste from the outline into the beat box. And if I had messed up and if I had left 1, 2, 3 here, it would think that Jessica Brighton was beat 1 and Anna Brighton was beat 2 and Evelyn Clark was beat 3. So it never hurts to check and make sure you have the number of beats you want. And remember, I got rid of beat 2. I combined that with beat 1, so I have 13 beats now rather than the 14. Yeah, let's see. I think just as a cursory glance, I think this makes sense for a first chapter. What do you think? You think it's gonna? The check beat buttons show you how many beats you have. Sometimes you'll have part of you think it's part of the header, but the software thinks it's beat. And if you have lots of beats with just, if I had the characters' names in as beats, it would loop because it doesn't have enough information in a beat to generate 300 words. You
I'm
want to make
curious.
sure.
I'm curious to see what beat number 4 is going to do because it
Oh
it
yeah,
gives
that's
some information, but it's a little bit
it's
vague.
thin.
So
It's
it
it's
could
very
yeah,
thin.
it could go rogue on you.
It definitely will. I'm going to leave it just for test purposes to see what that's going to do. But what I could do is I could move it up and make chapter 5 part of that same beat. I'm going to hide the beat box. Oops. And come up here. So even though it says we have 14 beats, we only have 13 because I took the other one out. I'm going to use breast prose. We're going to see what happens. It generates 2 beats together, and that's called a stride. I can pause it and see if I like where it's going, but it will finish the stride before it pauses. I don't think this is too bad. Okay, here's your stride 4. But she's got some internal angst going on here. Okay, here we have the late afternoon sun. Check your bingo card for that one. And so then the coworker comes over and she's engaged to her old high school friend. Yeah. Yeah. Sounds like she's jealous of Anna. Uh, so that might be stronger if I combine those two beats. Okay, so she's coming back in on Monday, opening up the shop. Oh, we have Willow plural. Then he has a business proposition. Okay. I didn't think that was where we were going with this, but we can. Uh, okay, so she's decided to move outside her comfort zone. That's a little bit of character development there. Uh, oh, he's a wealthy entrepreneur and famous playboy.
Look at that smooth transition from the beat number 8 into 9. So that was nice and smooth.
Yes. Because sometimes the beat one stride looks like it knows nothing about the last stride. Yep. Okay. Why was she calling the flower shop? Call me Noah. Blah blah blah. And deep pockets and connections. I don't know that I like Emily's motivation on all this. I don't know that I'd call it optimism. But okay, so they are actually meeting in the first chapter, and that's good.
The eyes are sparkling, not piercing, so that's good.
But yeah. I'm sure they'll pierce sooner or later.
A business proposal.
Mm-hmm. Oh, his reputation. He wants to clean up his image and be responsible and respectable. A partnership. He's going to invest in the flower shop, and she's going to pretend to be his girlfriend. That wasn't what she was expecting. Okay, she needs time to think about it. Oh, so they're going to dinner. It's okay. And then, because we only had 13 beats, this 13 is the last ride. So now she's thinking about that. That would help her business. She had the money, but she thinks it feels dishonest. And Noah, Luigi's. Did you know we had Luigi's in Willow Creek? I certainly didn't. Unless some of y'all get busy and do Willow Creek stories, I'm going to have the whole town laid out.
I'll join you, Lynn. I'll join you. Maybe we can get Nicole to join us in
I hope
Manon.
so.
Right, I was gonna join in too, but mine's is gonna all have to be based around the cemetery and the Gothic
Okay.
house next to it.
I'm
But
sure.
that's
I'm
okay.
sure Willow Creek has a cemetery.
There also might be alien abductions, just so you guys know.
Okay.
Only if I can have a Yeti walk across.
Yes.
Where's
Bring in the
Nicole?
Sasquatch. Yep.
Yeah. No, Sasquatch lives out of town.
Or is it a skunk ape? Where is this Willow Creek?
Okay, now I like what Frank said. I am on board with that, Frank. My
Oh.
zombie apocalypse just wiped out Willow Creek.
I like Frank's idea.
Frank, just for you, I'm going to have to put zombies in mine.
Happens to my quick little clients here. Aliens and zombies, and I think Willow Creek's quite a town.
I know that's the thing with AI is it doesn't matter what story you're writing. It's on another planet. Let's call it Willow Creek.
Okay, a cave with Barbie at the edge of Willow Creek.
Oh, that would be funny.
We are diverse here. Now, one of the things I can do, and I think I'll do it just for grins. I'll drive up here. I'm going to copy these beats. I'll come way down. It generated 2,000 words, so that's really good, I think. I can make another version of chapter 1. I can add the chapter. Take my hands off of it. And I can copy those beats in. And this time I can leave it on balanced, which is ChatGPT 4 Turbo. And we'll see how that prose compares with the prose we just did. We got the morning sun right off the bat. Oh, we got Bloom and Grow is the company. I think I like Willow Creek better. Prom corsages.
What are you
Love
generating
will
with?
find it. Balanced
Balance this time.
Turbo.
Okay.
Yeah. Mm. Okay, we're getting a lot of dialogue. Okay. Oh, wait. She didn't say anything about the engagement, did she? And then we have it dawned. I have not really been impressed with balance. I know some people really like it, but I just have not been impressed.
Now I used it inside of I think I was a novel crafter whenever I used it, but I used it in a chat format, so I
Mhm,
had to keep redirecting it,
mhm.
and I didn't mind it there, but yeah, I had to redirect it quite a bit. But it'd probably be really good maybe for a pantser to maybe write something for maybe middle grade or young adult,
Yeah, it might work well for that,
'cause it gets real immediate with whatever is happening.
and it seems to be, I'd say, more middle grade vocabulary and word choice. Does anybody agree with that?
Yes,
Mm.
sorry, I was coughing.
Oh, I'm trying to read the
Yes.
oh,
Yeah, Lynn, I agree too.
overlords and holy water and garlic. Okay. You know what I've always said? I've said if we all took the same premise and started to write a book, it would very soon veer off in all sorts of different directions. And I think here we have having a pretty good demonstration of that.
I think that even without AI, Lynn, I think that was one thing, like, everyone was always so scared to share their story ideas, and I'm like, "But why?" Because if someone else took that idea, their
Yeah,
story is not gonna be anything like what you're gonna write.
absolutely, absolutely. One time, my critique group decided to write a book together, and we took elements of what each one of us liked about a book, and we started writing it. And in the second week, everybody decided to go and write their own story because we couldn't agree on how it ought to go.
Right? It reminds me of this kid. We used to write a critique group together, and so you'd bring in a chapter and stuff, and this one when a woman had brought in her memoir, and we read the chapter, and we were all giving her feedback, and this kid, he must have been 18 maybe, and he goes, "You know what? I really liked your chapter, but there needs to be werewolves." Like, this
Okay.
that would be an epic memoir,
Yes.
but clearly he had his own ideas for this memoir.
Marigold wants to kill off a few characters. I do the fact that it's actually putting more flowers in here. It shows her actually working with flowers in the shop.
Yeah, it even has her picking up, like, stray leaves and stuff, so
Mhm.
it's using terminology that would go with her as a florist or
Right.
flower keep.
So I might have to kiss match some of this.
That just sounds stressful.
It could be. It could be. Okay. Okay. So she's agreeing to meet him again. And we have Monday morning in Willow Creek in the sunlight, dappling the cobblestones. Okay, so they're meeting at a coffee shop. Well, neutral ground. Hmm. Open to possibilities. We have petals unfurling. Yeah, okay. We might have to pull some of that out and use it.
So there's a question inside of the chat
Mhm.
that's asking about, so it's building the chapter off the beats and the prompts?
Yes, if you look at any box that you're generating, and you go up here, we'll go up to the top again. Da-da-da. Yeah, it did generate, what, 4,000 words? Wow. That part I like. If you look at prose and you click on the question mark, it looks at the genre, the style, the characters, and this chapter's beats. It's not looking at your outline. It's not looking at your synopsis. It's picking up the genre, the style, the characters, and what we put up here in the beat box. And the actual beats and the prompt that I put in. Anytime you want to know what's feeding into that box, click on the question mark, and this one's it's going to pull in all the beats, so it's going to tell us about all those. But it will tell us the beats are based on more than just that. The beats are based on everything to create them. In this case, we created them ourselves from the outline. The outline created the beats.
Those are the boxes that it's calling in. Is there any other documentation that tells you what it does with those? Does it apply any weighting against the content of the boxes, or what is it using to manipulate that set of boxes that's different from where it uses them elsewhere? So how is it making use of them? Is that described anywhere?
I don't
So
think it is, but of course, it's using the genre because it knows the tropes of the genre. It knows the conventions of the genre.
yeah,
It uses the style because you told it what kind of writing you want.
yeah,
It uses the characters. It can pull from the characters into the scene. And sometimes it will pull another character that you don't have specified in the scene, but if you've got it in the character box, it's fair game to use. Sometimes
yeah.
it'll bring one out from left field too, but
It'll
that's
just create.
usually a beat
Yeah,
problem.
yeah.
And then it uses, of course, the outline uses a synopsis,
Mhm.
and the beats use the outline. And if you see up here where it says it brings in everything about the chapter from the outline, it has the entire chapter here.
Yeah.
And it's using that information in with the beats. Does that help?
Yeah, yeah. I just wondered, does it use it differently? I've seen the schematic that shows how each of the boxes are going to areas in the flow, but it doesn't actually explain the flow as if, okay, so you're using characters here and here, but how are you using them? What is it that you're changing each time? Is
Yeah.
everything? How's it applying it? It would be, maybe there needs to be at some point a more detailed specification of how Sudowrite itself does what it does. But
In this case, I don't know that weighting it would make any difference.
no,
Here, I have specified the characters I want in this chapter,
yeah,
and we have specified the location. If it goes outside, that could be a problem. And that's why you want to be as specific as you possible. You want to see the character box? Okay. You want to be as specific as possible when you tell it anything, because it is a computer and it can't make logical connections like humans can.
no.
You do need to be very specific. And Cynthia, what part of the character box do you want to see? And I did take out that lore about the flower that gives everybody happiness or something. And so it shouldn't bring
No,
that
that's
in.
good. I just wanted to see how you formatted it.
Okay. Yeah, it's the character name : and then any description you want. And okay, here we don't have a description of her eyes. Oh yeah, I cleaned this up. I got rid of all the piercing blue eyes and the shining hazel eyes or whatever it was. Okay. Oh, but he's got piercing blue eyes. I am going to let that stand until we meet him. No, I'm not. I'm going to get rid of that. We haven't met him yet. Okay. And I'm just going to say blue eyes because if I left piercing blue eyes, every time it referred to him, it would talk about his piercing blue eyes. And that piercing any kind of eyes is a cliche of the AI and it's a giveaway. AI wrote this. So that's one of the other things you want to be careful about. But I thought I did. I really thought I took that out last night, but maybe I decided I was going to leave it till he was introduced. Okay. And then I also have the town in here as a character. And it talks about its lush forests and rolling hills. It's a small town with small shops and cafes. And her flower shop's on the outskirts of town. I can use that later, I think. If it's not going to, I probably will. What other questions do you have? Yeah, I know y'all are often writing your vampire stories. Do you have enough? Do you think this has given you enough information where you can take up where you left off last night or go back and change it if you decided you wanted a different kind of story and generate your outline and then start generating your prose? Yes, no?
Yes, the answer yes.
Okay.
Everybody's very quiet. They're all just in texting.
How many people are going to go back tonight and change the story they started yesterday?
I wonder when they post like a six story.
Well, it's changing hers now.
Hopefully.
More editing in Yetis, I know.
There's a vampire, the Yitzi, everything is in it.
Yeah.
You just write it like a chat and everything, and it says, try to make a story with that.
Who knew that Willow Creek would be?
Hey, I'm all excited about Willow Creek now.
Well,
He's traveling and on vacation, and I'm thinking, man, there are so many shiny things in this chat. I may not be working tonight.
Well,
I
the
won't tell.
real Willow Creek in California has a Bigfoot.
I know.
Isn't
I
it?
know.
Is that the Bigfoot Museum? Is it?
And there is my area in Oregon has a lot of Willow Creeks. Of course, a creek with willow on it usually gets named Willow Creek.
Yeah.
And if you look in I don't know whether they moved it over, it was in the Flack, that the team had a retreat in Portland in September. And they invited me to join them for dinner one night. And so I took them to the Willow Creek's transit station because there are several things named Willow Creek. And we all took a picture by the Willow Creek sign. And James, no, it's Josh Charles, lives in Northern California up close to Willow Creek. And he took a picture of himself with the Willow Creek city sign.
There you go, Manon. I like that.
That's the start of the synopsis.
We're going to have all kinds of stuff going on in Willow Creek.
I don't know about y'all. And what I might do now is to generate it using Most Accurate and see how different that is. Do you want to see that? you want to stick around and see that, we're running out. We've gone over the hour, but I don't have a hard stop until the next hour.
Game if you are.
Yeah, I'm game. I
Okay.
like most accurate.
I know you like, well,
Mhm.
everybody has their favorites.
I do.
And let's
Yeah, I
not.
finally tried Ouroboros last night for the first time, and it started out great.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and midway it got a little wonky.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
I did that direct, and that was a crazy experience.
And apples to apples, we're going to ring in our same beats again, our same header, our same everything. And we'll go for most accurate. And see, now it's going to be 38,000. And it's still saying 26,000 words, but balance what gave us 4,000. So we'll see how it works. We got the morning sun again.
Yeah, most accurate is the most expensive as well in terms
Yes,
of
it
credit.
is.
Yes.
And Erebus is the cheapest apart from
Mhm.
this one that's free.
I got to say, except for was it Mixtral?
Mixtral,
Yeah.
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 That one is
Spell checker keeps changing it to Mistral every time you type it in.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah.
Put it in your own dictionary, otherwise it'll swap it every time.
Okay. Okay. She's talking about, the Willow Creek Cafe. I told you guys, I'm going to flush out
Yeah.
the entire town unless you get busy.
I'm gonna
We
have a
were
couple
busy. You
of-
didn't read the chat?
Yeah.
I did, but I'm actually setting up the physical locations in the town.
I might have to have a demon have a shop next door to the flower shop or something.
There you go.
Not to get the big
Coffee.
museum.
Gonna have a coffee shop over there. Is that people go in but they don't come back out?
What the? That's the hotel.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay. He's conflicted because that one isn't too bad either. Yeah, we have this. This is the short fourth beat. I think it's like a paragraph. Okay. We got a soft drizzle. That's different than the sun.
Descend to the damp earth, so it's using more of the senses.
Uh huh.
Oddly, you can run it on the same LLM 10 times in a row and still get something a little different each
Totally
time.
different. Totally
Yeah.
different. Yeah. Your business is in trouble. Okay. Golden sun streaming down. Okay. Well, she's going to hold workshops. She'll be arranging garlic so you vampire people can't come.
This has a very wholesome Hallmark type feel to it.
It's supposed to.
No, I'm saying it, so it hit that mark for
Mhm.
marriage of convenience.
We got the golden sunlight again.
Yeah.
Actually, this version's not bad. See what happened. Okay. So he calls her. A business opportunity, investing in the shop, unusual proposal, weighing the option, touch to the detail, excitement and trepidation, early morning sun. At least it cast a warm glow on the petals of the roses, so that's from Redemption. She talks about that. He wants to clean up his image. Hmm. Morning light streamed through the window. Oh, we got sparkling blue eyes.
Marie said Willow Creek has everything.
It does.
Oh, yeah. With newfound determination needs to be part of the bingo card.
Yep, definitely. Okay, he's sitting at the table. His blue
I have a
eyes.
question. 3,500 words?
Yep.
Is anyone figure out why our Sudowrite keep regenerating itself in the middle of something? It restart. Is there a reason for that?
We reported it, and it's when you're in outline.
Yes.
Yeah, it updated to me in my outline, so my
Yeah.
outline is not even finished.
Yeah, it happens in outline.
Crap.
To me, it happens as soon as you start to work in the outline and
Uh-huh.
you unlock it to be able to get your chapters. It just flashes over for that change. That's when I'm seeing it happen.
Yeah. I've also seen it at the end of the outline and in the middle of the outline tonight. That's the first time I've seen it in the middle.
Yeah, you just did not even finish chapter 10, and it's at the point number 8, and you just restart, and now I can't even continue or nothing. Shoot.
Okay. Here we got more flower metaphors.
Find out if it's in your history, Manon, and if it is, then you can pull it up in there, and then it should let you continue it if it's inside of the outline through the revision box.
Okay.
And then if I go back over here and look at my credits I've used, I can see recent activity. And I have to make my screen smaller so we can see it all at the same time. Okay. So the most accurate generation cost $46,455. The turbo cost $28,205. The best prose was $14,635. So this is the difference in the amount that it actually used. Can you see that?
Yes.
So I think their guesstimate was pretty accurate. Close anyway. Oh, I told you I'd show you that price guide. Let me stop my screen share and bop over here. Have to find out where we are. You can get it on Open Router because it's Open Router that has it. But let's see. I've got the rankings now. It's easier to pull up the chart from Rexy.
Actually used it in one of the direct LLMs, Ouroboros, for some spicy scenes, and it did extremely well. I just had to feed it like one beat or a single line at a time and then just keep prompting it to continue.
Oh, good.
Yeah, I got a scene, I think it was like 2,200 words, so it wasn't bad.
Ooh, Paula, I like your ideas. I forgot what the AI named something like that. here is a pricing table. And some of these you can tell that, like here's Mistral. And right now it's free. We'll get down to some of the ones that aren't. Like this Llama 213B is 0.0015%. So some of them are real low. That's why I was surprised. Was it Novel Crafter was talking about something that was 27 cents or something? I thought that was high.
Mhm.
Something in one of the discords said 27 cents. Because see, Turbo, the 16K Turbo is 0.003. And I think this is the input and this is the output. So for Turbo, the regular Turbo, like it's 1 cent for input, 0.001 cent, 1/100th of a cent, and then 0.002 cents for output. It breaks down, usually it's half of the same. Oh, now here, the Llama thing, it's cheap, but it's the same cost for input and output. And here's your GPT-4 1106. It's 1 cent for input and 3 cents for output. But look, here's your K. And these are why some of your plugins are so expensive, is because they use the 32K. Input 6 cents and output's 12 cents. So you can get an idea of that. Yeah. If it matters, if it's worth it, it's up to you to decide whether it's worth it or not for what you're doing.
How many tokens are those outputs based on
This is per 1,000 tokens.
1,000?
Mm-hmm.
So I generated something. I did not do any of my plotting inside a Sudowrite. All I did was bring my beats and generated.
Mm-hmm.
And when I was finished, I had a 58,000, almost a 59,000 word document, my manuscript, using the GPT-4.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, good.
You're
I say-
doing some plugins to credits.
Yeah. And right now, you see the Gemini Pro is cheap.
Everybody's so plugins is so
0.0025
Yeah.
for input and 0.0005 for output. So,
Now I've used Gemini inside of Vertex and it does really well, but it has some really stringent triggers. And whenever you hit one of those trigger words in Vertex, it shuts you down
mhm.
completely. You can't continue. I don't know what
Yeah.
it does there but in Vertex it stopped me.
Mhm.
You were on with me there, Lynn.
Yeah, we played in Vertex.
That was
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah.
Some of the plugins, at least mine, if you use mine, they're using 32K. And they do not work with any other model. So there's not really a way I can change them to make them cheaper for you. Now, I'll tell you what, you can take those same prompts and stick them in ChatGPT or stick them in Claude and they should work.
100%.
Yeah,
But
I do everything outside, and all I do in Sudowrite is bring in my beats
Mhm.
and then generate my prose. I put out, I fill in all the boxes myself after I've already done them.
Yeah.
And you can do the same outline generation that I did tonight in ChatGPT, which is where I do it a lot of times.
Yeah, I've done it there too. Yeah.
Let me
Yeah. There are times when I don't put anything inside of Story Bible except for my beats, and all I do is unlock the outline with as little as possible.
I'm going to turn off the recording.
that's the thing.